Coming up in this show, I'm going to bring you my comments on the markets. Ari has a sample member video for you, short-term swing trade planning, and this is a great lesson on cycle analysis as he looks at Disney, which is negative. Katie is going to do trade planning with options, and she looks at BABA, and she combines option strategies with our unique charting methodology. And we have a special for you. You have to see this, levels 2 and 3, 35% discount. You get a huge amount of content for traders of all styles. And then I'm going to bring you my stock market analysis. We'll look at the weekly and daily charts on the S&P 500, that is SPX.
Well, I'm going to the city and I'm gonna do a city show. And I know all my fans wanna learn how to make some dough. I've been cruising up and down for trades each and every night. And with my iPhone reclining, I know we're gonna get it just right. I'll get inside your mind, we'll have a real good time. We're gonna trade today, we gotta trade today. Go askSlim.
Hi, I'm Steve Miller. Call me Slim. And this is the askSlim Market Week. It's a look back at what happened in the financial markets in the past week, and to look forward to what might happen in coming weeks, and hopefully lots of great ideas and opportunities for you throughout this show. Well, the stock market finally succumbed to some selling last week in what was certainly a minor pullback so far after 3 weeks of an upside buying stampede, as the AI stocks led that upside move. There were a number of rally attempts during the trading sessions this week, with a lot of declines coming overnight, led by weak Asian markets. China was expected to bring stimulus as that country remains weak, but only a 10 basis point cut by the central bank there in China was quite disappointing. So we saw some pretty good selling in the Hong Kong markets. And while the Eurozone is also economically very weak, inflation there is still very strong. And in the UK, year-over-year inflation was 8.7%, and they're really not able to knock that down much at all. Bank of England, they had their third consecutive rate hike, and they say more to come. They're now at 5% and probably going well over 6%. If you look at the high caps, look at the FEZ in Europe, the peak to trough in the last 5 days saw a decline of 6%. Those are the high cap stocks there in Europe, and that might be a warning here for the U.S. stocks. Maybe the upside isn't going to be all that great going forward, at least in the techs. For the PMIs that came out on Friday for Europe, they were especially weak. And Germany has been in a recession, so the European markets look really, really weak. Powell, semi-annual testimony before Congress was this week, and he was hawkish, as he should be. He says there's a long way to go to 2% inflation, really. He says there's more hikes coming. They just are at a slower pace. And of course, in the last FOMC meeting, we saw the dot plots, which were showing increases of, well, anywhere from 0.25%, even to as much as a full percent on the upside. Now, we're in a period of kind of a paradox because central banks are tightening, but interest rates are moving lower. And anticipating, well, there's a recession coming as the economies are slowing. We saw that in Europe as their bond market surged here at the end of the week. And we have a projection on our 10-year yields coming down to about 3.2% in the coming 1 to 2 months. That does fit overall with our stock market analysis, and we were looking for a brief correction, and we think that is underway right now. With the indexes having moved through our resistances, we raised those upside targets for what looks like a late summer peak to this bull market phase. With this decline that's going on right now, likely a buying opportunity. Then following a rally again, which we think will be a very significant selling opportunity. with risks to the downside that are meaningful in Q3. I'll show you this a bit later in the show as we look at the charts of the S&P 500, both weekly and daily, coming up. Stock market for the week, the indexes were down 1.5 to about 2.25% so far here at midday, and the rut is worst of that whole sector of indexes. Bond market, the 30s gained just under a point. 10-year yields drop about 5 basis points. They're now at 3.72, and like I said, I think we're going to lose about a half of a percentage point coming up here in just coming weeks or a couple of months. Gold market loses $24. It made a low of 19.19, which comes down and hits our target range and then has rebounded, but still significantly lower on the week. Silver, it got wrecked. It's down about $1.60, and that also came down and hit our downside targets. We talked about the precious metals markets being weak during this time frame, and there's still some time ahead where we think that rallies will fail. However, later in the year, there's a much more favorable period. So you have to see that as we do our analysis on the longer term, which we'll be bringing out in July for gold and, of course, all of the major markets. Dollar gains about 0.5%, and that was helped by a very weak Eurozone and the stupid Bank of Japan, which just refuses to admit that their inflation is going up. Their inflationary target was 2%, and of course it was sitting at 0 for so long. And now inflation was reported year over year at 3.2%. So they're not increasing their interest rates, and they're, I think, ridiculous. In the meantime, that is helping the US dollar, which has been moving up against the yen and continues to be strong against the yen. Oil loses $3.30, and that's on the economic weakness, despite the fact that OPEC is trying to help the oil prices move up. We actually think on the short term, there's going to be a rally in the oil market starting sometime next week, probably lasting for a couple weeks. You can see all of our analysis on all of our futures in the Future Speak show, which Ivy does a fantastic job every single Wednesday, and of course you can get that if you're a level 2, 3, or 4 member. So please take advantage of some of the specials that we have coming up, and I'll show you that really soon. That's it for the opening. Please do go to askSlim.com and explore around, get acquainted. We're in now our last. We're just ending this free premium services preview, and that will end now. And now you'll be able to sign up for some great specials that we have there. If you want, you can just become a free member and look around the site. On YouTube, please do subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and like this video, give it a thumbs up. On Twitter, follow us at askSlim. Any questions that you may have about what I'm showing you here or about our membership, educational services, please do write to Matt at askSlim.com. All right, short-term swing trade planning. Avi does an amazing job at this. He's going to share a sample of a member video he did this week for levels 2, 3, and 4. And this is Disney, a short idea. So show him this great analysis, Avi.
Now let's go ahead and look at our lone short idea here. We will actually look at Disney. Okay, so this looks like a false rally here on the short term, as it still has likely one more wave lower. Now, as we often say, zooming out, when you're late in cycles, you can see a clear pattern. False rally, obviously no rally there, as we were just seeing everything sell off. False rally here, false little rally here, false rally there, false rally here. You can see that right there. And we got another one just now. Good odds that this also fails and turns down one more time here in Disney. And we look back at this old low at 84.07. This low is due 612 to 724. So we are still bearish here in Disney. Not seeing any reason to be positive here, only seeing lower highs and lower lows forming. We shift over to the daily chart. Okay, as we noted here on 523, okay, so we hadn't even formed our low yet. We were saying watch for an early high to form on this daily cycle. That's what we are watching for on this blue cycle right here, an early high to form, and then for this to turn back to the downside. This low is due 812. Go back to the weekly chart. What does that mean? That implies that the low would form out here on the weekly, so a little bit past this overall forecasted timing, but we have that sense based on what's happening on the short term. Okay, and these are fairly clean cycles. Zoom out, you can see them right there, really very clear. So in the interim, as we've done here, watching for failures. If this ends up rallying back into this zone from 93.5 to 95.60, we would look for it to fail. We would not want to see it through 97.5, and we're looking for a move in the short term, meaning into this low, which is due around mid-July, 78.6 at 88.5. This little low right here is at 87. That looks really quite reasonable. So small upticks, quick failures, and a move down. Another small rally here into that rising phase, and one more hit lower into that next dominant low, which, as we said, is due around early to mid-August. That is when we look for that weekly low to form. Now, what would turn this more positive? Well, we would have to move through that 61.8 fib on the upside. So if we do a move like this, turn back up and move through that 61.8, and then look at that 78.6, which if I draw it in from that high to that low at 129, and then we have a trade like that, that would really be a clear sign that an intermediate term low has already formed here in DIS. Okay, so we always have to be open-minded to what would change this overall pattern. Highest odds right now are that rallies would fail, as they have, and we have one more wave to the downside in DIS.
Super work on that. Ari is just a master at cycle analysis and especially at teaching it. You got an idea when you looked at that. Great work. This is trade planning with options. Katie is going to show you an options trade idea in BABA. And what she does is combine her vast knowledge of option trading with the askSlim charts and our style of charting. Again, just as Arvi is, Katie is another master at cycle analysis, but then she really knows option trading. She's great at it. She is really very well versed in the Tasty Trade platform, and that's a big help when she looks at this. Katie, show them this great stuff.
Hi, this is Katie in Agnostos, and this is a trade planning with options video on June 22nd, 2023. Today we're going to look at a trade idea in Alibaba. First, our legal disclaimer: the options trades that I demo and follow up on are trade ideas. When I talk about closing, adjusting, or managing them, I'm simply educating around management techniques, best practices, theories around risk management and profit taking, and highlighting aspects of options trading that we encounter as we follow these trade ideas. This disclaimer is specifically related to options trading. For full legal information, please go to the askSlim website or email matt@askslim.com. Let's get started. Here's the weekly chart of Alibaba. This is a 33-bar dominant cycle that is broken down into minor thirds. Now, BABA is 3 weeks off of this intermediate low right here, and our proprietary momentum indicator, the reversal scout, that's this green and purple ribbon that has turned green, showing positive momentum to help us confirm that intermediate low. Now, our initial profit target is in this 105 to 112 range between the 61.8 and 78.6% fibs. Over on the daily chart, we have a 51-bar dominant cycle that is broken down into minor thirds. We had this move up to the top of the resistance zone out of the intermediate low, and now retracing into the timing of this first minor cycle. So we would look for a move like this, perhaps a bit more downside, and then another attempt to the upside, back up to the top of that resistance zone, or perhaps even up to the 78.6% fib. Momentum is positive in here with both the reversal scout as well as the slim ribbon, which colors the candles green, gray, or red depending on momentum conditions. So with positive momentum currently on both the weekly and daily charts, and early in the rising phase on the weekly chart, and anticipating the rising phase of this second minor cycle, we are going to look at a bullish trade idea. Provided that momentum remains positive in here, when this does turn back up, you will get a resumption signal down here on the slim ribbon PO, and that would be the ideal entry time. Now let's look at these support zone levels. The support zone runs from $88 on the top to about $84 on the bottom, with a 78.6% fib down here at 81.30. We will need those levels for our bullish trade setup. Now we're going to go over to the Tasty Trade platform. Tasty Trade is our preferred options trading platform. On the homepage of the askSlim website, you can hover over our Marketing Partners tab and click on Tasty Trade. That will take you to this page where you can learn more about Tasty Trade, and if you open an account with them through our link, that helps you with some special bonuses, and it also helps us. Let's go take a look at Tasty Trade. We are going to set up a short put spread in BABA in this July monthly expiration cycle. A short put spread is the sale of an out-of-the-money put and the purchase of a further out-of-the-money put to define our risk. So let's go ahead and sell that 82 put. With our credit collected, that's going to put our break even down around that 78.6% fib on the daily chart. Notice that we get a collection of $1.65 and that this uses just over $2,500 in capital. So we're going to buy a further out of the money put that will define our risk and also cut our capital requirement. Now you can make your spread as wide as you like. I'm just going to demonstrate a $5 wide put spread. We would go and we would purchase the 77 put. This lowers our credit collected to $1.06. Now the market hasn't opened yet this morning, and it looks like BABA may open right around the same price, maybe a few cents higher. If I couldn't get at least $1, then I wouldn't place this trade. I'd have to move my strikes in a little bit. Again, however, the best time to place this trade would be to wait for the slim ribbon PO signal on the chart, or for a return to positive momentum on the lower time frame charts. The 2-hour chart would be a good one to use for that. That would give us a gauge of the depth of the retracement into that minor cycle trough. Let's take a quick look at the risk graph. Here you can see the profit and loss zones in green and red, no risk whatsoever to the upside. Your max profit is the credit collected, and your max loss is the difference between the width of your spread and the credit collected. Your probability of profit on this particular combination of strikes is 71%. This gives you just over 15 positive deltas and a daily theta around $1.90. So you want BABA to stay above your short strike, or at least above your break-even point. That's our trade planning with options video today. As always, please feel free to reach out on Discord or via email to katie@askSlim.com if you have any questions or feedback.
That was super. And please do go to the askSlim website and go up to our Marketing Partner tab and look at that. Sign up, open up a Tasty Trade account, and that helps us. And of course, you get bonuses there. So please do that right now. All right, our popular services preview is ending today. It was scheduled to end on June 23rd, and here we are. And now, for those of you that have taken that special where you got all that stuff for free, signed up for that, you can continue to get all of our services. Or for people that didn't even sign up for that free preview, you can still take advantage of this also. 35% discount for level 2, 3 months. It's only $114.75. That's $38.25 a month versus $59 a month. You get everything that is in level 1 plus all of this in level 2, which is our SIR, Stock Index Report, Interday Chart Grid live stream that is live broadcast to you with our just unbelievable information on there for traders, scalpers. There's key levels, acceleration zones where if it gets into it, it's likely to move very sharply, support resistances. It's just an absolutely great thing for the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and the Russell. You'll get our Future Speak video and our entire library of videos where you look at just 24 different futures contracts and indexes with all of our analysis in there. You'll absolutely love that. You'll get the S&P 500 live chart stream. This is a multi-time frame chart with our proprietary studies on there, and that again is broadcast live, the S&P 500. You will also get our whole video library, as I said, plus all the services in level 1, and you'll get our SIR daily snapshot with the Slimulator momentum tracker on there, and just so much that you will be able to see for level 2. And if you want level 3, you get everything I just said, plus everything that is on this list. It's just a tremendous amount of information. And of course, access to our Discord server and the whole askSlim community analytical team. Just great stuff here. You'll get our trading hubs and our cycle low timing tracker, which Katie does, and it's just super. And tons of live stuff. Our live chart streams, where level 2, you only get the SPY, and level 3, you get everything that's on this list right over here: QQQ, IWM, GLDs, SLV, TLT, XLE, all of that broadcast live with all of our analysis on there, and our market condition monitor, which analyzes in real time shifting market conditions across multiple time frames for multiple trading styles with over 100 symbols. You're just going to absolutely love this. All of this. You can get level 2 at that special, or level 3 at this amazing $232. That's only $77.33 a month versus $119 a month. All of this, all you have to do is go click on the Learn More button at the top of the askSlim website, and you will be able to get all of this. And that's all available on level 3, level 2, level 1. Just an unbelievable amount of educational opportunity for you, plus trade ideas and analysis, and just so much that you will get. Please, if you have any questions, write to Matt at askSlim.com. Take advantage of level 2 or level 3, 35% discount right now. All right, stock market analysis and projections on the S&P 500. Some important information first. Please do read this slide. It really tells you about our approach to analysis in the markets and how that applies to you. All right, stock market analysis, S&P 500. We're going to look at the intermediate and the short term as we look at the SPX. Let's take a look here as we go to this slide, chart, these charts right over here. And on the left, we have a weekly chart, and on the right over here, we have a daily chart. I'm going to blow up the weekly chart first, but it's important to see the side by side when we look at this, because there's important information as you see. And I'm going to tell you that right now before I get to the analysis. You can see in here this minor cycle right there, and the timing for a correction and a trough somewhere in the middle there. This is a super bullish pattern that you see right here, and this is what it looks like on the daily chart right there. And this says, well, maybe coming down for another week. This shows you on the daily chart, and that yellow zone where the period of risk is maybe coming down for another week. And these are important synchronized timing that we have here on these cycles. Let's look at the individual analysis here as we look at the intermediate or weekly chart here on the S&P 500. I'm just going to take it through these 3 major harmonic families. A harmonic family is when you have a dominant cycle right over here that is broken up into smaller cycles. In this case, you're seeing half cycles. A half cycle right there, and then the whole dominant cycle here. Here's a half and a half. And notice this is shorter right in here because there is a variance in cycle lengths. And right over here, you could see we're in the first half. Now, when the first half is this strong, and this is the reversal scout showing you the strong upside momentum, then the longer it stays up, the more brief the corrective period, as you see right over here. This doesn't leave much. It is similar to what you saw right over here, where it corrected for 2 or 3 weeks and then began to move up sharply again. When you have this bullish configuration right over here, which means that it has a high and a low higher than the previous low, then the high is likely to be higher than that previous high, as you see right over there. So that is a very good indication of that when it hits the support, and that's really a buy zone, and then it moves up again. That's what we have right over here as we're projecting it coming down and hitting the support level right over here. This is right around 4,300 right there on the weekly, maybe just a few cents lower, and that would be why we have our target there. Of course, this rally was much further than we had originally thought. We thought it would be stopping here between 4,300 and 4,360 right over here, but it got through it. So what that does is it raises up the support levels, and that's why our downside targets are higher than they were before. The market just tells us this. It's very mechanical on our part, and still it's very valuable information as we look at that. That would say that there is another rally coming over here, just as this did over here, out into later in the summer, probably out into August. That then gives you a peak that would be above that level right over there, that peak being for around 44. 48. So, up here, the projections would be about just over 4,500 to potentially about 4,530, somewhere in that area. The very least would be testing that number. So you can see we have both scenarios in here of a test, pullback, and then a test, or a pullback and then a move to 4,500. But then we get into this period of risk right over here. That's like this one over here, except that this was a negative cycle. You see the first minor cycle was negative. That says that the next rally will fail in resistance sell zone, which it did, and then come down and take out that low. In this case, this is a positively configured situation, so we would not expect it to be as steep on the downside in here. Still, this is a period of risk, and that downside could be greater than what we are showing it right now, which is basically giving up about half the rally that we expect. Were that to be the case, then this low over here was around 3,800, this high around 4,500, let's say. That's about 700 points. That would give you a decline of an ideal decline of around 350 points. If that is how it laid out. So again, what this shows is that another week or so of this decline and then another rally. That makes this a buy zone or a buying opportunity for short-term aggressive traders. This decline in here again is very shallow so far, with not a lot of time to go, and you can see strong upward momentum right over here. This momentum may not even turn down. You can see the momentum turned down over here, but then turned up immediately. This may not even turn down in here and then show you the strength that it has. So now I'm going to move over to the daily chart. Remember, this says maybe another week or so of decline in the stock market. And this is the daily chart right there. And you can see in here, these big harmonic families, they're made up of this big dominant cycle, a half cycle, and a quarter cycle. The quarter cycles have not been super clear right now. The half cycles are much more clear, which you see right here and then right here. It broke out of this diamond formation. When that happened, we knew it was very strong, and just a minor pullback that you see right over there in that yellow zone, and then moved up again sharply. You could see the slim ribbon in here. The slim ribbon PO shows you that little blue arrow there. That's the only time it neutralized in here. And these green arrows are giving you signals of upside resumptions in momentum conditions. Those were very positive conditions right in here. So along with the weekly reversal scout, the daily slim ribbon, as you see right over here, has been extremely bullish, and that's helped us know that even though we were looking for a correction, and this is reflected in our new market condition monitor, the MCM, which you can get by taking our level 3 special that we just offered. You will be able to see these market conditions as they change for different trader styles. So right now we're in this corrective period. The ideal low comes over here right around the second week of July. So it could fall into here, which is the first week of July. It could get out over here, which is the second week of July. And that's what this shows. Now, the slim ribbon often gives support, as you see right over here, as it gets down into it. So these support areas are pretty significant. This is roughly around 43.20 on this support level, on the minor support level, and on the weekly support levels right over here, this takes it down to about 4,300. So that's what we're looking for, 43.20, 4,300 down over here, and then moving up again. You can see our projection is here moving back up towards that 4,500 area in this rising cycle, this minor rising cycle, and the fact that this configuration is so positive and timing translation is so positive, we know that this dominant cycle has not peaked yet, the peak being somewhere out over here. So these will be three driving forces to the upside that come starting around the second week of July, and that puts July and a good portion of August into a positive period. That's why looking at, again, this side by side right over here, you can see what we're looking at, and that is this corrective period right here on the weekly, that's syncing up with this corrective period there on the daily, and then right over here where this minor cycle here turns upward. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 cycles pushing to the upside in July, and that is suggestive that there will be another upside significant move in this July-August period, and that's why our upside target is right over here up to this 45.30 area right there. That's what we think is the highest probability, and then again, we believe that this is a mini bull market in a secular bear market, so we would not be looking for new high bull market levels, which is what so many analysts out there are saying. And we just, based on our sum of the evidence, and I will show you this as we get into July, what the bigger picture looks like in the stock market and other markets. So that's important. That will be available to our level 2, 3, and 4 members in the middle of July. That's when I get back from. There will be no market week next week because I will be at the WSOP in Las Vegas. So that's going to be my second quarter week off. I usually take one week off a quarter, and so there will be no market week. I'll be at the WSOP, and then 2 weeks from today will be the next market week. I hope that was just unbelievably valuable information to you looking at that. I really wanted to break down the way the cycle analysis works, and of course go to askSlim.com, go to workshops, and there's a whole video in there, an explanation of our cycle analysis that you can see for free. So you'll learn a tremendous amount just by going to that informational page at askSlim.com workshops. Please do take advantage. Our popular services preview ended today, and you can continue with all of these great services at a 35% discount. You can get information on that by going to askSlim.com, the top of the front page, and click the Learn More button, and you will find out how to get these 35% discounts and the huge amount of educational content and analysis and tools for you to use as you trade in the markets, all available there at this very significant discount. So take advantage of that right now. Please go to askSlim.com and please do sign up sign up for free using our free membership. If you're brand new, get acquainted with us. And on YouTube, please do subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, like this video, give it a thumbs up, and watch the member videos in the playlist and past shows. On Twitter, follow us at askSlim. And for any questions that you might have on our memberships, huge offerings of education and analysis, please write to Matt at askSlim.com. That's it for this show. I will see you in 2 weeks, and I'm always wishing you great trading.
Well, I'm going to the city and I'm gonna do a steady show. And I know all my fans wanna learn how to make some dough. I've been